recent decision in the disqualification hearing in Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has literally just sparked this massive firestorm of debate and criticism. Renowned Harvard law professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz has openly slammed the Georgia judge for allowing DA Fani Willis to continue her high-profile cases. And despite what Dershowitz has described as paying her lover with taxpayer dollars, I mean, he said it's more proof of America's rotten justice system. I mean, do you guys believe this? I mean, he also called it self-dealing. And basically, self-dealing is the practice of exploiting one's position of authority to enrich oneself. Now, we're going to explore the potential political and legal ramifications as both Fani Willis and Judge McAfee basically face their own challenges in their upcoming primary elections and the possibility of Donald Trump suing DA Fani Willis for defamation. Now, before we get into this, all I ask is that you guys take 1 second, hit the like button for the video. I totally appreciate you guys. By hitting the like button, all it says is it tells YouTube to, show this video to more people. And if you really want to support the channel and you really want to support the truth, share this video on Facebook and Twitter. I totally appreciate you guys. I see all of you guys flooding in here in the live. John Gardner, Kimberly Turner, Kevin Worth, Jeanette Johnson. All right, so let me get to the comments in just a minute. Let me go ahead and jump into this news here. So basically, let's hear from PR expert Phil Kent. He talked about how much this decision from Judge McAfee could affect his re-election prospects. Check this out.
Judge Scott McAfee's ruling to let DA Fani Willis stay on the election interference case could factor heavily in this year's political campaign.
That's going to be a big election issue, I think, for the judge.
McAfee, a Republican, is up for re-election as Superior Court judge in Fulton County.
Politically, I think Judge McAfee is in serious political trouble.
Right now, McAfee faces opposition from lawyer and talk show host Robert Patillo and Tiffany Johnson, a former staff attorney for a Fulton County judge. Phil Kent is a Republican strategist.
Well, he could lose. My phone blew up with a lot of Republicans saying, I'm not voting for this guy.
Right now,
wow.
in March, then you have to basically side with the incumbent.
Theron Johnson is a...
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, you heard it there, folks. Like, another expert who has a lot to say about this is Harvard law professor emeritus Alan Dershowitz. Now, for him, the question is, well, who's going to guard against the corruption of some of America's guardians? Well, no one, apparently, not in Georgia anyway. So for Dershowitz, Judge Scott McAfee, he had to navigate through some pretty choppy waters in this case, and it's ultimately got Donald Trump and others in the hot seat for allegedly messing with the election results, right? Now, here's a twist. Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who's been spearheading this massive racketeering case, had some secrets of her own. As it turns out, she and special prosecutor that she happened to appoint, Nathan Wade, they were more than just colleagues. They were in a relationship. Now, this bombshell dropped after everything came to a standstill early in January, basically threw everybody for a loop. Now, for weeks, everybody was left sitting on the edge of their seats wondering what was going on until Willis and her now ex, Nathan Wade, admitted to their personal relationship, claiming that it only started after Nathan Wade was brought onto the case in November 2021. But then, adding more drama to the mix, both of them ended up testifying about their personal doings in court, turning the legal process into something straight out of a movie. The jaw dropper here, though? Well, it was revealed that Wade billed Georgia taxpayers more than $728,000 in legal fees for his work on the case. And it looks like some of that cash went toward financing a lifestyle of vacations to Belize, California's Napa Valley, and of course the Caribbean that he and Fani Willis enjoyed together. Now, as pointed out by Dershowitz, this whole scenario, it's a classic case of what's being called self-dealing, using a position of power for personal gain. We all know, ethically, this is a big no-no. And so Trump's defense team jumped on this, arguing that Fani Willis's romantic entanglement, it was a conflict of interest that was big enough to get her kicked off the case. Now, at this point, people are calling for justice. They're saying this is not fair. They're saying that Fani Willis and her boyfriend should both be in jail for fraud and for lying to the court. But Judge Scott McAfee's decision, it threw everyone for a loop. So despite acknowledging Fani Willis's major misstep and unprofessional behavior and not disclosing her relationship with Nathan Wade, he decided, for whatever reason, not to disqualify Fani Willis from the case. This got a lot of people up in arms. In fact, Judge Scott McAfee called it an appearance of a conflict of interest rather than an actual substantial conflict, leaving a lot of people, more than, just basically everybody scratching their heads trying to figure out what just happened here. How could you come to this ruling after 2 weeks of making us wait, right? It's like something that something out of a legal drama where you're just kind of left wondering, like, how in the world do these decisions come about? And what does it mean for the trust in the legal justice system? I mean, are they trying to create some kind of a civil war here where the people don't even trust the legal system? Anyway, some people called Scott McAfee a coward. Some people said that Scott McAfee doesn't have the balls and said that he shouldn't be a judge. Now, apart from that, others are saying that he should be disbarred and even imprisoned for making deals with prosecutors. Now, Judge McAfee, he gave Fani Willis two options. A, she and her office would voluntarily, withdraw from his case, or Wade would have to quit. Well, it's no shocker here. Nathan Wade decided to pretty much bow out right after the decision. And so now, let's not jump to conclusions, or let's try not to anyway. And I don't want to say that the only reason why Georgia went after Trump was to line Fani Willis and her lover's pockets. I don't want to say that. But come on. I mean, like, choosing to not make a decision based on that, it just kind of feels a little off. I mean, that's just my take. It just feels a little off. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments. Also, if you guys are appreciating the updates here, definitely hit the like button. I totally appreciate your support. You guys are amazing. All right, so as Dershowitz pointed out, though, this is a clear conflict of interest and way more than just appearance. Not just an appearance here. So the real kicker, it's not whether Willis should keep leading the prosecution, but really whether she should be the one on the hot seat, honestly, facing charges herself. Fani Willis being investigated, being indicted and convicted. I mean, is that what should happen to her? I mean, just imagine this. Imagine if DA Fani Willis was going after a citizen by the name of Fani Willis, right? She'd have a solid case. We're talking about the potential accusations of lying under oath, that's perjury, conspiring, and blocking justice. Willis swore up and down that her romantic relationship with Wade started in 2022, after he was brought onto the case. That's what she said. But then you got Robin Bryant Yeardy, a former friend and colleague of Willis, testifying that she had no doubt Willis and Wade began dating in 2019. And of course, you got Terrence Bradley, the temporary amnesia patient. Wade's former law partner ultimately corroborated that, that claim in text messages revealed to the court, even though he later claimed on the witness stand that he had no personal knowledge, no recollection of when their personal relationship began. Man, that temporary amnesia or dementia kicks in at the most timely times, don't they? So anyway, Judge McAfee, he said so himself in the ruling. Wade's explanation of his inaccurate responses to his wife's questions during the divorce proceedings, it showed a willingness on his part to wrongfully conceal his relationship with the district attorney. I mean, can you believe this? Now, I just want to take a second. Nacho Daddy just hit me up with a $50 super chat. Unbelievable. I don't know what I'm doing here to deserve that, but I just want to thank you so much. And Anyway, just thank you so much for that. But wait, there is more. Cell phone records. If everything else wasn't enough, right? Cell phone records put Nathan Wade near Willis's place at really odd hours in 2021. Like in the middle of the night, not at a likely time for business meetings on multiple instances in 2021. What could they possibly have been doing at those hours? And I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, so, notably before 2022, when Willis claimed that their relationship began. So anyway, in one instance, the cell phone pings indicated that Wade traveled from his home in the direction of Willis's home late one evening in September 2021 and remained in the area until 3:30 in the morning. He then sent Willis a text message at 4:20 a.m., according to the affidavit that was filed by Donald Trump's attorneys. Now, of course, there's also the allegation that Wade used his income paid by trusting Georgia taxpayers, as a special prosecutor to pay for their exotic trips. Anyway, so Willis says she went ahead and paid him back every penny for her share of these trips. But proof? Who needs proof? Take my word for it. Anyway, so she's supposed to report any gifts that she gets, right? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. So you would think that she would have some kind of evidence of paying him back, but nope. No bank withdrawals, no deposits, no handwritten notes, no photography of any reimbursements, nothing. They basically just kind of claim that it was all settled in cash. Good luck convincing a jury of that. I guess she happened to have, I don't know what her half of a Caribbean trip would be, a trip to Napa Valley, California, or, any of these other trips that they may have taken. Maybe she, just keeps an extra 5-10 grand laying around and, hey, here you go. That way you don't have to hit up the ATMs and actually have a paper trail. I don't know. But despite all of this, Judge Scott McAfee has decided that Willis is still fit to lead a major case against a leading political figure. I mean, does this scream that this was a planted district attorney for Trump? I mean, why else would you not just simply remove her from the case? Unless she was planted there to carry out a specific mission. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. So anyway, this has Trump and his team calling for a higher court to take a very hard look and just look at what they see as a major miscarriage of justice. And if any convictions do happen, you can pretty much bet that there'll be a push to make them be overturned. But regardless of how all of this plays out, the case has cast a large shadow over the prosecution, and Dershowitz says that it's making a mockery of the justice system. Now, if you ask the people, you'd probably hear a lot of people saying that, this judge should be removed, that McAfee should be disbarred. Not just Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae. I'm thinking about the mortgage company, not just Fani Willis. Now, I've heard people say, it's just such a bad joke, right? And what a joke it is, as they're saying that there's no justice in America anymore. Now, before he issued his ruling, Judge Scott McAfee said that he always wants to convey that no ruling of his is ever going to be based on politics, and that he's going to be following the law to the best that he understands it. You guys remember that? Well, what do you think about that? Did Scott McAfee, the judge of this case over Donald Trump's case with Fani Willis and Nathan Wade, do you feel like the judge actually ruled in the best interest of the law, in the best interest of the Constitution, as best as he understands it? I'm gonna leave that decision up to you guys. Now, the real question here is, will Judge Scott McAfee's controversial ruling cost him and Fani Willis their jobs? Only time will tell. But already on the same day as the judge's ruling, a progressive Democrat and a Republican who briefly worked in Donald Trump's administration entered the Fulton County District Attorney's race in an attempt to oust Fani Willis. I can't make this stuff up, guys. So attorney Christian Wise Smith, who ran against Willis 4 years ago, is now challenging her in this May Democratic primary election. So Courtney Kramer, who said that she interned in the White House councils under Donald Trump for 3 months in 2018, was the only Republican to qualify by the noon Friday deadline. Now, the general election is in November. Meanwhile, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Scott McAfee, who's presiding over this election interference case, drew 2 challengers for his nonpartisan race in May. Robert Patillo, a civil rights attorney, and Tiffany Johnson, a staff attorney for another Fulton County judge. Definitely feels like Scott McAfee and Fani Willis are in a lot of danger politically. New York-based attorney Colleen Kerwick even said that this could go even further. She believes that Donald Trump may now have grounds for a defamation claim or lawsuit against Fani Willis. Can you imagine that? So she says that McAfee held that an odor of mendacity remains. This is what the judge said, which essentially impeaches the credibility of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. She also highlighted what Judge Scott McAfee said, that Fani Willis casting racial aspersions at an indicted defendant's decision to file this pretrial motion was wading further into dangerous waters. Can you believe this? I mean, now with this, Kerwick actually said that Trump could sue her for defamation, that the judge's comments about Willis, they're pretty damning, and that it would actually be up to the court to determine if Fani Willis's professionalism or professional immunity would cover her church comments. This could end up, comment down below if you would be surprised if Trump ended up suing Fani Willis for defamation, kind of like E. Jean Carroll sued Donald Trump for defamation. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, because I wouldn't put it past anything at this point. In fact, just last month, Trump's lawyer, Steve Sadow, he filed a complaint against Fani Willis's church comments to Scott McAfee, in which he criticized what they called the district attorney's racially invective comments. Steve Sadow, he noted that Willis had tried to contrast the treatment of Wade with the white lawyers in her office without stating that she had been in a relationship with the prosecutor. Why bother mentioning that, right? So according to Steve Sadow and his motion, the district attorney's conduct was indeed egregious. Her MLK Martin Luther King Jr. holiday church speech intentionally and in bad faith injected race, religion, and politics into the case and ultimately stoked racial animus by, among other statements, asking God why defense counsel and the defendants were questioning her conduct, hiring a black man, but not his white counterparts, and why the judgment of a black female Democrat wasn't as good as white male Republicans. Meanwhile, she conveniently left out the fact that the questioning was about her hiring someone that she was in a personal relationship with. So basically, she tried to spin it, make it look like it was a racial thing, when it was really like, hey, you're kind of like dating your prosecutor and you're trying to keep it to yourself. Anyway, so legal experts, they're already saying that the accusations surrounding Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis could impact Atlanta's community of lawyers forever. Noah Pines, an Atlanta-based attorney who has been closely following the case, he went ahead and commented that this particular case, in his opinion, is going to impact the relationship of these lawyers forever. And for him, it's kind of disheartening. But honestly, for me, I think this whole thing is kind of disheartening. But what do you guys think? I mean, this is clearly a witch hunt after Donald Trump for no other reason that I can think of other than they just don't want him in the office as a president. In fact, they don't even want him. They just don't want him to compete against President Biden because they already know that Trump's probably going to take it. But what are you guys saying in the comments? We got John J. Send Rachel Maddow to Palestine. Okay. Thank you, John J. Who do we have in here? We got Vincent Kazo. We've got Thalia Wuzedian. Sorry, I probably butchered your name. Let's see here. Loretta Moore, good evening to you as well. We got Bruce Rogers. We got John Gardner. Got Kathy in the house. What happens in the dark will come to light. Praise God. Appreciate your comment, Kathy. H. Combs 0104 says, I'll have to remember that, Fannie Mae Willis. That's an interesting middle name. Wouldn't it be funny if her middle name was May? First Lovia says, yes, unprofessionalism. Warren Jetty says, all I need is $456 million. You know, this is just crazy how much they're literally just trying to drain Trump for. I mean, this is just unbelievable. But yeah, so but again, I just want to give a big thank you to Not Your Daddy for the huge super chat. Really appreciate that, man. Let's see. John Gardner, Warren Getty, sorry you hate, your problem, not ours. Jeanette Johnson says it was a booty run. I think it was a booty run. And I think it was an embarrassing booty run because all of their dirty laundry literally just kind of got aired out for the whole public to judge and criticize. And, you know, anything that was, you know, that they thought that they were keeping a secret was literally leaked out to the entire nation and beyond. I mean, because there's so many of you guys who are from outside the United States who are literally keeping up with this case. Where are you guys watching from? And if you're from outside the country, definitely let me know where you guys are watching from, because like I said, you know, this ended up being like a globally watched case. Like people all over the place were just keeping up with what these people are doing. And they're laughing at the American justice system. Like, what kind of circus are you guys running here? It's just, it's unbelievable. Kel says, Americans stand for America. Applebag says, no balls. Let's see. Mr. Lanzam says, thank you for your service, sir. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Glad you appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's see. So we got Vincent Caziazo. He's from Philippines. Excuse me. In the Philippines, but from New York. Okay. We got Susan Daniel, upstate New York. Not Your Daddy, Texan trapped in North Carolina. We got Hazel Sweet, the Bahamas. Pennsylvania, Diana Hedges. John Jay's up in California. Awesome. Oh, and then I don't know how to pronounce your first name. Your last name is Lanzam, watching from Norway. Awesome. Well, anyway, guys, I just wanted to quickly share this update with you. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, definitely hit the like button. And if you really, really enjoyed today's show, definitely share this video on Facebook and Twitter. That is the best way that you can show your support for the cause, for spreading truth, and for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you. And you guys have a great night. Take care.